Okay, so far what we covered, let me open that document. Okay, so far what we did, we have covered the prerequisites. We have installed that machine DDC, this one, and we installed the core component in this machine. Also, we have installed the hypervisor yesterday, not yesterday, one day before. And now we are good to configure our new site, this one. We have to create one site. So site is nothing. Site, it is just a web address or site or location of your data center. So first, let me decrease the memory of domain controller first. Why? Because 1 GB is sufficient for now for domain controller, because we have only configured that. What is this? The process cannot access the file because another process has locked the portion. Try again. Again. This time it should work. Yes. So that was the part of troubleshooting. Sometimes you may also get the same error. In that case, what you have to do, you have to go to the directory where your virtual machine is installed, and you will get some folder like this, like vmdk.lck for lock. So this particular folder is responsible to lock or to secure the machine. So whenever you get such kind of error, you can directly delete that, or you can cut or paste the folder to some other location for backup. Okay, so our domain controller is booting up now. In the meantime, I have allocated 3 GB to the TDC, right? This time I must have to increase it to 4 GB at least. Let power on this also. And that is our hypervisor. Power on this also. So it will take some time to boot the hypervisor. So we have to configure the site with the Citrix Studio only. Okay. So as I told you, Citrix Studio is a centralized management console through which you can like manage or you can operate the entire stuff in Citrix. So as you can see here, this is a delivery controller, and in delivery controller we have installed the Studio, right? So Studio is a GUI tool. With the help of that, you can manage the entire infra. Okay. So now what we actually did, we installed delivery controller, we installed SQL server as well, Active Directory, and we have installed one hypervisor as well. Right now, we have to create a site for all those connections. Right, we need to connect our delivery controller to hypervisor, to SQL, or to Active Directory, and these are the core components which is already there with the delivery controller itself. So it will take some time to launch. Why? Because it's a bulky application, and I also decreased the memory of this delivery controller, and it's still booting. Let's wait. Okay, in the meantime, I forgot to actually I was busy, so I forgot to share the ISO files with you. So let me. What happened to my internet? Okay. Mhm. Okay, so these are the ISO files. Let me get the link. So first link is for the Citrix virtual apps and desktop ISO media. And the second link, let me check. Okay, this is the ISO media for Citrix hypervisor. And third one is for Citrix Gen Center. So what is Gen Center? I will let you know. Just download the files. Okay. Now let's go back to the track. So okay, our studio is launched now, and let's check. It's still booting. Okay, let's wait for this to boot up. In the meantime, just click on the links, okay, what I shared, and just let me know if you are able to download those things.
Sure, Vansh.
Yeah. Guys, I'm getting one call. I'm putting myself on mute. Yeah, hi everyone, I'm back. So our hypervisor is booted up now. Now we are good to create a site, right? So as I'm into the Citrix Studio and we just installed those components, right? So we have configured nothing so far. So now we have to set up a new site, fresh new site, okay? So just click on the first option. Okay. So now it is asking for a site name. Like just suppose if you have one office in India or one in UK or US or anywhere, you can mention the site name. So in my case, I can mention India. Or if you have multiple sites in India, site is nothing, it's your office location or data center location, right? So if you have multiple in India, so you can make like IN for India, then for Delhi or something like that. You can select any format. Simply click on next. Now, as I told you, database is very important to, store the events or store the logs, whatever is going on in your site, okay, whatever the activity is performing. So in Citrix, we are having three kind of databases. First one is Citrix. Citrix India is a site name, okay, that what I given. So database is site, then Citrix monitoring and Citrix logging, okay. So that database like Citrix site, it will store all the information related to site only what we have configured inside, right? And monitoring database, what will do? It will store the information related to hardware utilization. Like in my computer, if I open Task Manager, you can see like into the performance, my CPU utilization is this, my memory utilization is this, like 91% utilized. So those kinds of logs, like for network or whatever the hardware they are using, right? All those logs will be stored over there in monitoring database. Coming to the logging part. So logging database is for logging purpose only, means it will store the logging database, means who is logging into your uh, server or into the system, what was the time, right? And what activity he performed in the site. So those kind of logs will be in the logging database. So in Citrix, we are having three database, okay? First one is site, it is for site database. Second one is for monitoring. It will store the logs related to hardware utilization. And third one is for logging. Okay. Now, as you can see the location. So here location is localhost slash SQL Express. Okay. So SQL Express is the instance name of database. And why here it is mentioned localhost? Because we have installed the SQL in this local machine only, right? As you can see, this is the SQL server we installed in this machine. So that is the reason why it is showing here localhost. So if you have separate SQL server in an organization, so you can replace the localhost with the IP address or host name of that SQL server. Okay. But right now we are unable to manage a separate machine for SQL server. The reason is that why? Because we are operating with limited hardware resources, right? And on those hardware resources, we have to manage each and every component, right? But in production, we will get separate servers for separate components. Means These are the components. You will get separate for studio, separate machine for director, separate machine for license server, active directory is separate. Everything will be separated, okay, in production. Why? Because if any hardware goes down, in that case, rest of the components will still be running, okay. But in our case, as we are into the testing phase, like we are learning, so if my this laptop goes down, in that case, everything was stuck, right? So that is the only reason why they prefer to create new virtual machines for every component. Okay. So this is the database. Simply click on next. Now what it will do, it will search for the SQL server. And it will validate the SQL server and database details what we have entered. And it will create the database over there. So database is nothing. These are the logs file. In these files, every event will be stored. So as you can see, now database validation has been done. And now it is asking for the license server. Here, as you can see, for license server as well, localhost is there. Why? Because we installed license server on the same machine. That is the only reason it is showing the localhost. But if you have a separate server for license, in that case, you can replace localhost with that host name of that particular machine. So a license server is connected, and this is a port number used by the license server for communication. And as you can see, it is asking for a 30 days trial. So every Citrix product is available at free of cost for 30 days trial. So whatever the ISO I shared with you, those ISOs are available for 30 days only, right? After that, and you need to procure a new license, okay? But for learning, 30 days is fine. Means once you create a lab now, it will be there for 30 days only. After 30 days, uh, it will not work. Why? Because license will get expired in 30 days. So for now, for us, 30 days is fine. Click on next. Now we have connected the SQL server. Just now it is asking to connect your hypervisor. Which is your hypervisor? So hypervisor here we have created, right? And in that hypervisor, this is the IP address like 20.13. So in hypervisor window, we are having uh, 3 hypervisors available. Like first one is from Citrix, second one is from Microsoft, which is Hyper-V, and third one is for VMware workstation, not workstation, VMware vSphere client. Okay, so in the market, only 3 players are there with hypervisor. So Citrix is most popular, then VMware, then third one is Microsoft. So earlier, Microsoft hypervisor were known as Hyper-V. Now the guys renamed it to Microsoft System Center Virtual Machine Manager, something like this. Okay. So as we are using Citrix hypervisor, so we have to select Citrix hypervisor, and then we have to enter the connection address for hypervisor, which is the IP address. So just enter HTTP colon double slash and the IP address 192.168.20 what it was 20.13. Now for hypervisor we have given the root user and the root user password what I created earlier. Let me enter it, and connection name you can mention like gen server -01. So simply click on next. After that, it will validate the credentials for hypervisor and the IP address if it is like connected into network or not. Okay, so our hypervisor is connected and credentials has been validated, right? So now it is saying for the storage management, like which kind of storage you have in your infra, right? So we have two options for storage. First storage is a network storage. So network storage means we can access that network storage over the IP address, but in our case, we have not created any network storage. So we are going to use the local storage of the hypervisor, whatever the storage we have allocated to this machine at the time of installation. Okay. So continue with the local storage. Click on next. Now, this is the storage selection what we selected. Like we have selected the local storage. Operating system and applications will be there on local storage, and all the temporary files will be also there on the local storage itself. Click on next. Now it is asking for network. So our network name is network 0. Just name something like gen server hyphen n for network and underscore 01. Why? Because this network is pointing to the hypervisor 01. So I entered some like identical name through which someone like will be able to identify like which network connection is this and to which server it is pointing to. So in our case, it is pointing to gen server 01. Okay, click on next. FB publishing, this is not for you guys right now. This is a kind of L3 or L4 level feature. So right now you have nothing to do with this. Okay, I'm skipping that FB publishing. So these are the summary, whatever the options we have selected here, right? So as we are configuring the site, so whatever the options we have selected here now, as you can see, all those logs will be stored to this one, this database only, site database. Why? Because this is relevant to the site configuration only. Okay. So database, we have three database like monitoring, site, and logging. Delivery controller, this is our delivery controller, ddc.xyz.com. This is the host name of this machine only, ddc. And license server is also there on localhost and the port number 27,000. And connection type, we are having one hypervisor from Citrix. This is the hypervisor address. This is the connection name what we given to that connection. And storage selection, we have selected everything to be stored on the local storage. Finish this. So now it will create a brand new site for us. It will take some time. So guys, this weekend, what is your plan? Means you guys will be available, or like last weekend I was not there. If you guys available, then we can schedule a call in weekends after, like in the afternoon. We will discuss the timing, what timing will be there for the session.
I
Yes.
yes, my available afternoon
Yes,
possible.
because we skipped the last weekend and yesterday I was also busy, so we skipped 3 days, right? So we need to
Yes,
recover everything, right?
yeah. If it is possible, we can
Hmm.
um, make a schedule for 2 days also. I mean Saturday, Sunday, if it is
Yeah,
possible.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, in the weekends, like Saturday and Sunday, we will
Yeah,
cover
sure.
the skipped part. Means that nothing is skipped, but we delayed, right? We are in
Yes.
sequence only, but in the meantime, for your like practice and trainings, right? I'm having one Word document with me, and in that path, scroll down. These are the kind of scenario-based question. As you can see, is Gen desktop works without database connectivity? What is the what will the impact for existing session, right? So those kind of document I have. I'm not going to share that document with you guys right now. Why? Because you are into the learning phase, so you will not be able to understand what type of questions are this. So once our lab will be created, then I will share that document to you. Like, as you can see, define key components in short. So if someone asks you like what is delivery controller, so as I told you, delivery controller is a centralized management component of Gen app and Gen desktop side. And desktop, the definition you can read, right? Site database. I already explained you the database. We are having three database. What is virtual delivery agent means, and this is a proper document for definition perspective. What is storefront? What is Citrix receiver? What is Citrix studio? What is director? What is license server? So everything is there. What are the machine catalogs? You will see all those options after site creation. Okay. And then what is the delivery groups, application groups? Again, some scenario based questions like what is machine catalog? Can we have a single machine in two machine catalogs? If possible, explain. So no, it's not possible. That I will let you know why it is not possible in with practicals only. So this entire document now, if you go through with that entire document, you will be able to crack any interview. It will take some time for you guys to understand the thing, but I'm having each and everything with me. And after this, we will check, means if you guys are comfortable, then we will continue with the L2 classes as well. Right now, we are just covering the basics. So let's go back. Okay, so our site has been created, as you can see. In this site, we are having machine catalog. What is machine catalog? Machine catalog is nothing. It is just a collection of virtual machines. So whatever the virtual machines we will be going to deploy here in this hypervisor, all those machine catalogs will be listed here, like here. Okay. And delivery group is nothing. With the help of delivery groups, we will be able to like define like which machine needs to be published to which user. Like just suppose right now we have not created any machine catalog so far. So just suppose I have created one virtual machine, right, for someone like for Arun, right? So with the help of delivery group, I will be able to restrict the access of this particular machine to Arun only. You will get all those options here. In the application, we can add application or we can create application, right? Whatever needs to be published to the end user as per the business requirement. Policies, with the help of policies, we can configure the policies like, means we can restrict the user to perform some unauthorized kind of activity. So with the policies, user will not be able to access like anything which we restrict for that particular user in particular virtual machine. So logging, as I told you, logging is a database. It will keep all the tracks like which Citrix administrator is doing what kind of activity. So as you can see, right now I am the administrator, right? And I perform some activities like I created the database, I created the site, I have created the desktop deployment. So whatever I did, like all for today only, as you can see, that was the date or the time. Whatever activity I'm doing here, all those are getting recorded here in this logs, right? So if someone asks you like what you did, or please send me the report like what your team is doing on daily basis. So you can pull out that particular report and you can share that report to them. Guys, I think only 1 minute is left, so I'm terminating the call and sharing the invite. Okay.
Okay, Manish.